Now let's look at making some tables. So I've got this one illustrated. The idea is it's a bespoke, a custom-made table, really just to get you into the technique of making things custom so that you won't have to spend a lot of time searching for that perfect sized object, especially when the objects are kind of oddly sized possibly. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to bounce back to Revit, and I'll just go back. I'm going to close off the ceiling mezzanine level so we don't get confused with that. Then we'll go back to the mezzanine. We're going to place those two tables over here as I'm indicating, but we're actually going to work in another document. We're going to make this as a family item. So I'm going to go to New and create a family, and we're going to look for a generic model floor base, meaning that what we create will be locked down to the floor, so to speak. And I'll grab that and open that. And if we went to the front elevation of this, you can see that there we have a reference floor here. And the first thing I want to do is actually save this with a name. So I'm going to do a save as, a family, and I'll just call this a large desk. And we'll save that. And let's go ahead and build an extra reference line for the top of our desk, so to speak. I'll just draw this. I'm drawing a reference line. I might want a reference plane instead. Let me see if we get that option here a minute. Hold on just a second. Reference plane. And I'm going to make this 2 foot. I think I said 2 foot 4 inches. That's a good working height. I'll draw that. And so that's the top surface of where we would want our table to be. Remember, we're looking at this from a front elevation. So let's go back to a top view of this. And let's go ahead and make a countertop. So I'm going to create an extrusion. And I'm going to make a rectangle. And I'll make the rectangle the full screen width to start with. And you'll notice that was 10 feet wide. So we'll make the desk 10 feet. That's fine. And what I'll do is I'll change these down until we're, let me see what I said, 36 inches wide. So I'll change this to 36 inches. And that's the width we want. And then I'll just move this into the center. And now before we complete this, you'll notice the extrusion starts at 1 foot or ends at 1 foot and starts at 0. And we know we want it to end at, let's see, 2 foot 4, which would be 28 inches. So we want, let's try that. Let's end at 28. Try again. And we'll start at 26. And we'll complete that off, and we'll see if we did that right. So we'll go to the front elevation again, and I'm actually buried under our reference line, so we have that now completely corrected. The reference line is sitting under here. You can see the little dotted line. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just move this over just for a second so you can see that. So we're all set with our tabletop. Let's see if we can see that in a 3D view. Now we need the trestle or the legs to support this. So I'm going to go back to our reference level view, and let's go ahead and make another extrusion, something relative. Oops, I'm going to use the rectangle tool. Use something relatively skinny and fairly well. Let's say go 1 foot 4. Oops, I meant 1 foot 4. All right, and I'm going to move this over now into position. Or try to. I'm just going to arbitrarily place it. I just wanted to inset there a little bit. We'll complete that off. And we'll go once again to our, I think our right elevation here. And it always does that a little screwy. So I'm going to do Control Z to, oops, ZE, excuse me, zoom extents. Let me complete that off. No, I must have done, hold on just a second. I don't know why our extrusion's out of position here. Let me go back to the reference level. I might have hit it undo instead of zoom extent, so I'll push this back again. And we'll go back to the right view again. And then let's just adjust this so it's touching the ground. And now in order to make that more stable, let's build a little base underneath it. So I'm going to go to the reference level again. And what I'll do is I'll make another extrusion. And I'll use the offset command here just to enlarge it. Let's start out with 4 inches. And then on the sides, we'll make it a little bit wider. Let's go to 6 inches. And let's join everything up. And we don't need the ones that we started with in the center. So I'm just going to grab those and delete them. And I'll just complete that out. And let's look at it from the right side. And it's up in the sky, so we'll pull that down. And we'll pull it, just some nominal amount. And I'm going to pull this up so it's touching that. Okay, and let's look at that again from a 3D view. So now we have our first support for our leg. And let's go back and make a few duplicates of it. So go ahead and grab it. Use the copy tool. And someplace here where I can grab in the center. There we go. And then one more step would be to mirror it. I'm not really happy with the size of the base. I could see that easily interfering with the chairs. But so I'm going to leave it now because we've gone ahead and done it. But you could see where if you were trying to pull a chair under there, you might be hitting that. Actually, let's just take a minute and fix that. I'm going to delete that. Sorry about this. Let's go in and edit this. Maybe move these in a little bit. Oh, having a hard time grabbing that one. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go ahead now and mirror that. And then let's make a duplicate of that one and pull it into the center. And I'll go ahead and save that. We'll load that into the project. And we're ready to place that. We're on the mezzanine level. You see the large desk that we have there. So we're really ready to place that. I don't think if I hit the space, it'll actually rotate like some other element. So we're probably going to have to manually do that. So I placed that. I'll grab it and we'll go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees. I'll zoom in here and we'll do a little. I'm wondering if our table is 3 feet wide. It looks a little narrow. I'm going to just, I'll check that in a second. Let's go to annotate. Yep, we're good. It maybe could have been 4 feet wide. We'll go ahead and place this in, and maybe I'll make a modification, and you can if you want to later. I'll just place another one over here. And then we'll take a look at it from our 3D view here. And there's our tables placed. So we'll look at now placing some chairs and some monitors, and then we can make a determination whether we want to make that table a little bit larger or not.